I was having psychosis, paranoia, I wasn't sleeping much, I lost a lot of weight, and then everything just come down on me, and I owed people money, and I just ran off. I got like a really cheap ticket to Tenerife with like a cheese bread sandwich in my pocket, and that was it. I just ran off to Tenerife, grown dreadlocks, and just went mental out there. For about 6 months I lasted out there. Most of my anger was like after my mum died, it was grief. So I was like angry she died, which sounds ridiculous.
No,
like,
so there's is it six stages of
but I stayed in anger and denial for pretty much 14 years. So I had like 14 years of anger stored up, and then on top of that, being with my dad, I was like, how could my mum possibly leave me with this guy? It doesn't matter if we're all doing the same thing, there's enough for everyone.
It's abundant, isn't it?
To go around, like that scarce mentality is like, that's the resistance to it all. It's like, if we all work together and we all help each other, it's not going to take away anything.
So we welcome you again back on to 1084 podcast. Today we have Leanne Kift on. She's a Reiki practitioner. She's owner of the clearing community, and she has a basket of stuff that she can do in the holistic side, from tarot card reading to Omit.
Get on it.
Oh, and get Omit. See, we got there.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
So what's a bit of a background check on where your spiritual awakening happened? Or
it happened in despair, I suppose. I was like really not well. I'd been partying my whole life, pretty much from being like 19 till God knows, I don't know how old I was.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm still alive, to be fair. The copious amounts of drugs and stuff that I were taking. And I was just running away, I was escaping, not really knowing. Like a lot of stuff happened when I was like younger, like, you know, grief and abuse and things like that I was just masking.
Yeah.
And eventually I just lost the plot. I fell apart, basically.
Yeah.
And I ran away to Tenerife to run away from all my problems.
Oh, did you?
Which made it just 10 times worse, because everything just was more highlighted out there. So I ended up coming back, and I was sort of sectioned in like a day hospital for like 9 days. Put on like antidepressants, because I was like trying to like harm myself, basically. It was pretty dark. I didn't think I was ever going to be okay again, so like I didn't want to be on antidepressants either, but I didn't have a choice. And it weren't until I think maybe like a year into that, my friend was like, have you tried Reiki? And I totally scoffed her, like, what a load of shit that is, can't believe you're just holding your hands over someone. Honestly, made so much fun of it. She like, come and have a treatment with me, or watch me have a treatment, which is such a bizarre thing for you to go along. And the woman obviously said yeah for me to go and watch, and I literally felt the energy, and I knew it was what was gonna sort me out.
Yeah.
So I just went straight for an attunement. I didn't go for a treatment. I just went and got attuned, and then from then on I just started like self-healing and like picking myself apart from there, like healing and forgiving. And it was a really long road. It was like another year. Like I weaned myself off all my antidepressants just by doing like my self-healing. And like the cloud started to like dissipate. But I mean, I was way not even close to being okay, really. But I knew exactly like where I was going. I could feel things again, because like the antidepressants just numbed me out. And then it was like maybe like 3 or 4 years of just healing myself before I started to then sort of do any sort of healing on anybody else. I did try and do it sooner, but I got whooped. I weren't ready. So I did it on friends and stuff, and like got some feedback about it all. And it wasn't until about 4 or 5 years in I was like, actually, okay, this is it.
Do you have quite a good support network who were already like introducing you to Reiki then?
I had a good friend group, family-wise, no, like it was sort of just like me and my sister from being young, so I didn't really have a lot of like actual family that I could speak to, and to be honest, I wasn't even facing up to half of the stuff that I was running away from
Yeah.
anyway. So it was like my friends who were my family.
Oh,
but
nice.
she's like my soul sister who introduced me.
Oh, cool.
She's in Portugal now, living pretty much the parallel life of what I'm doing here. Like, even when we're not in contact, we're always
That's cool.
doing the same or working through the same stuff.
That's
so
mad, isn't it?
It was like a mad alignment of how that could have worked.
Yeah. So how come it had got so bad so you went to
Tenerife, it was debt, getting in debt. I was losing jobs because I was just off my head all the time.
Yeah.
I was going into work, getting sacked and stuff like that. I had like 3 different jobs, but I was like DJing as well at the time, so I was just constantly partying.
Yeah.
And everything just got too much of me. I was having psychosis, paranoia. I wasn't sleeping much. I lost a lot of weight. And then everything just come down on me, and I owed people money, and I just ran off. I got like a really cheap ticket to Tenerife with like a cheese bread sandwich in my pocket, and that was it. I just ran off to Tenerife, grown dreadlocks, and just went mental out there. For about 6 months I lasted out there.
A wild 6 months.
Yeah, it was really wild. A lot of it's a blur, really, but eventually I had to come back and like with my tail between my legs and like say sorry to everyone and all the people I'd pissed off and all the bridges I burnt and everything else. So
it happens though, doesn't it?
So I had to face a lot of shit when I came back.
I hope it's all alright now.
Yeah, well, some people still don't talk to me, but
it's gonna happen, isn't it?
It's one of those, but yeah.
But what's been your favourite part of the journey so far?
The journey itself, I think, has been really beautiful. As much as it's been traumatic, I've learned like a lot about myself, and yeah, just finding like being in the dark so much. Now I'm so comfortable to go out and sit in the dark with myself and sit in the dark with other people as well. So there's like certain people who resonate with different things.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't call myself a light worker or a shadow worker, but I definitely work better. Yeah, I'm really comfortable going to the depths of the darkness because I've been there. Like when I was going through my awakening, I was what could only be described as in hell. You know, the things I was seeing, the things I was experiencing. So yeah, my favourite part is being able to sit with people in the dark and like be able to find their light and be able to come out of it.
Yeah, we've just been talking about this off air, about the shadow, and you said that you do love it. What are your like approaches to it? Someone who maybe seeing like, I'm gonna be selfish here. Like I've got a couple of anger issues recently, which I don't normally have.
Mm-hmm.
And where would you say start with that?
There's different prompts you can do with like shadow journaling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of like finding yourself, find why things anger you so much.
Yeah.
Like that's the question you've got to ask. Is why is it making you so angry? Because anger is usually like sadness. It's just like not been acknowledged, or like some sort of grief or some sort of trauma that hasn't been there. So there's different ways you can channel it. You can obviously write it down, like what makes you angry about the situation.
Yeah, and try to decode it.
Yeah, and what's the trigger, or where do you remember being angry before? Like, is there a stage in your life where you felt angry, more than you did any other time, or if you've not felt like you've been heard? That's a big one.
Yeah.
When you get angry and frustration, it's about somebody not realising your boundaries and stuff and things like that, people pushing past. It's just, your anger's like a friend, really, because it's telling you something's not right.
Yeah.
But it's just how you channel it. Or, like, I go boxing and stuff and things like that. It's really good. Gets a lot of anger, like, or rage and things like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it's bringing up something that's not right. There'd be something unresolved.
Yeah.
That you've not dealt with.
No, that's good. What's the biggest thing or biggest topic that you've uncovered under yourself with your shadow that you think's been like most transformational for yourself?
Probably my worth, my self-worth. I didn't realise how much I was still carrying it in my energetic field, like certain things, certain programming. Like when I was younger, me and my dad didn't have a really good relationship at all, really. And he was always telling me things, that I was useless, I wouldn't do this, like, just generally putting you down. There was a lot of abuse and stuff in there. and it always sat in my sacral chakra, like of my worth, of not knowing my worth. And because he was telling me that we're never going to do anything, you're never going to amount to anything, you're useless, you know, like that's literally what this inner programming was going through. So that's why I think I was reckless for so long, because I just thought, well, I'm not going to do anything anyway, you know. So uncovering that and uncovering my worth and having respect for myself and stuff like that, I didn't actually realise my worth until I actually understood what had actually made me think that in the first place. But it was really uncomfortable.
No, it is. And I've got the same one where you've been told by parents or whatever, and you take it on board your ship, and you don't realise how much it makes you hide in your own shell.
Yeah.
And it is empowering once you start stepping into it and start uncovering it, and you're like, no, I am worth something. I do have... Sometimes I have imposter syndrome with some stuff, but then you're like, no, I've gone through work here. I've put it in, and people do like listening. Yeah. So
it's about knowing your value and knowing your worth and not feeling like that validation. So because I had such a bad relationship with my dad, I seeked it through other ways, through retention of men and other things like that, and I didn't even realise that was doing that until I started unpicking that. And then it's the imposter syndrome, and then it's the mother wound as well, of like not wanting to be seen, and you're hiding because if, you know, I used to mumble a lot as well, because I just think nobody's bothered about what I'm going to say anyway. So it's like when you uncover it, it's that fear of being seen because you've been made to sort of play small or to stay off the radar, because then you won't get beat up or you won't get shouted at or anything like that. So
it's powerful, isn't it?
But it's empowering once you pull it over, but it's really uncomfortable.
Have you started? You do these workshops then?
I'm starting one in February, so I've done one called Chakra by Chakra for years. That was the first one I did, where we went through for the chakras, because I feel like it's important you start at the root and then work your way up. Because when I did my attunement, I started up here, and no wonder I couldn't ground because I was like floating about. So I thought it was really important to get us to go ground ourselves into everything. So now it's evolved into shadow by shadow. So I'm going to go through like a bit of chakra work and that, but then also doing the shadow questions and exercises around that are in the certain chakras and do it over like 7 weeks. It
makes sense, doesn't it, to go up in stages? I feel like I would just start going all over the shop.
Well, everyone wants to go up here. It's like, no, you've got to make sure you've got some sort of like...
I'm not in so much of a rush as what I was. When it first happened, I wanted to knock down doors every day, and I've noticed like there's bits where I know this anger thing now is for me to overcome before there's any more doors to be opened. And yes, it's good to... I just think for me as well, I need to broaden my belief system and drop a few things off that I've held on to and just release them. And
well, that's your protector. So it's like your masculine energy is like sat there, and that's where the anger comes from as well, because it's like guarding you as well. So you can let it out. Like sacred rage is so potent but so powerful when you actually channel it in a way rather than being frustrated or to the point where it's like filled all the way up here and then you've got to scream it out. You're allowed to feel angry, but I think it's most of the time it's because you've not resolved something earlier on. That'd
be fun uncovering that.
Screaming to some pillows or something, that's usually good.
It's just screaming at the moment.
Well, no, that's it. It comes out like you've not let it out. You might have not been able to say what you're going to say. Like I think most of my anger was like after my mum died. It was grief.
Oh, wow.
So I was like angry she died, which sounds ridiculous.
No,
like,
so there's six. Is it six stages of?
But I stayed in anger and denial for pretty much 14 years. So I had like 14 years of anger stored up, and then on top of that, being with my dad, I was like, how could my mum possibly leave me with this guy? Like, but he was also struggling with the grief and having to deal with us and everything as well. And I was just an angry person. I was just carrying anger around for so long. But it's when I realised actually it was just sadness. I was just really sad. But I never got the opportunity to grieve or to feel it in a safe space. Like I never had that safe space to actually to feel that.
Also, with the Omit, how long were you DJing? Were you DJing from school onwards? Or?
No, so I must have started when I was about 24 or something, so that's like 14, 15 years.
It's definitely
or
party scene, isn't it?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it though.
Yeah.
It was a really good way of channeling stuff as well, like DJing and
Getting
dancing
creative.
and stuff like that. I still do it now, so I don't think
Is that why you've tried taking it over as well with Omit?
Yeah, well, it was good to do. We went to Stone Cold Sober and they do like a yoga rave there, and
cool.
Abby was like, I really wanted to do a yoga rave, but I needed a DJ, so me and her linked up and did it together.
Yeah.
But we've not done one for a really long time now, to be honest.
I think I might have to have a go, come into one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I've found it, I don't know about yourself, but I'm not drinking anymore. I haven't done for a while. And then I find it awkward to dance.
We're sober?
Yeah, I'm finding it hard. But then I look at my son and I watch him dance, and you're like, we could all dance.
It doesn't even matter anyway, it's your expression.
Yeah.
Like, I love seeing someone that's just in the moment and just going for it. Like, you know, I love it when you see people like, but I've always wanted to be able to body pop and body lock and stuff like that. But I can't.
You still give it a go.
Yeah. But I like seeing people just going for it.
Just it's like being childlike, isn't it? It's letting your guard down and just let it go. But I think when we had Sam on, and I said that I'd struggled with it. And I've started to know it's maybe because I'm judging people. Mm-hmm. And it's fear of getting judged, which is...
Nobody's never noticing. This is the thing.
No, they don't give a toss that you're there.
They don't. They're too busy doing their own thing. Like, as well, if you draw attention to yourself, maybe, and you're thinking that everyone's looking at you, then you might do.
Well, that's what he said. Just lean in and go as silly as you want.
Close your eyes as well.
Yeah.
Close your eyes is a game changer, because I felt that when I went to Stone Cold Sober. It was my first sober festival that I'd ever been to, and I was like, oh my God, I've never done this without a couple of shots or whatever, before we went, and we just had a cup of cacao and then went in, and I raved the hardest I've ever raved.
Did you?
Because I just got into it and everybody else was doing it as well, and nobody else cared. Everybody was just being wild and just free.
Sounds beautiful.
It was.
It's I'm definitely have to come along to the next one.
Yeah, I'll have to get one booked in. I did speak to Abby about it, actually.
Where do you hold them? Or is it anywhere?
All over the place. I think we want to do it in a bigger venue, though, next time, because I obviously wanted to do it at the clearing, but it'd have to be really small, because it's only a very small, intimate space, isn't it? So, but maybe.
Where's your passion lie, then, at the moment?
God, everywhere. Shadow work, probably, mostly. Obviously, the Reiki and stuff as well. And the music as well. So I've been doing some mixes on my SoundCloud recently. They're called now, that's what I call Integration Volume 1. So it's like I'm trying to speak through music about my journey through music. So it's house music. I've only done one volume so far. But I'm finding a way, because I used to do it in a different way. You know, it was like drug-fueled and everything else, whereas now I'm sort of like going through it in a different way. I'm enjoying it. I prefer to do it more conscious and play for people that are sober as well, because they're just more present. Yeah.
What have you found like your biggest breakthrough then on this journey?
Oh God, there's been so
many. You know, to get you really like when you explained you got into Reiki. Yeah. And can you explain for listeners of how you felt the energies that made you think, or made you know that this is what you wanted to do?
I felt it in my hands. I felt it in my hands, and all of a sudden it was like, not like something spoke to me, but there was just this thing saying that this is what's gonna fix you. Yeah. This is gonna, and I didn't expect it at all. I went in totally skeptical. So when I did actually go for my attunement, I got guided to this woman. She doesn't do them anymore. She was called Peter. And she was really down to earth, because I was really worried about if people were going to start talking about like cosmic stuff, that it would have just been like too much. Like, I needed to be like at a ground level to go in, and I thought, we're going to have to stop eating meat. There were all these different things I had in my mind like that. I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to completely change everything. And she was just so down to it. She was psychic as well, so straight away she was like, don't worry, you're not going to have to stop drinking straight away, you're not going to have to stop doing this, like, take it in. And when she did my attunement, she said, you've done this before in another life. Like, basically I'd already I was meant to obviously find what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then my mum come through her during my attunement as well, which she'd never done. She'd never come through, like, when I'd been to other, like, clairvoyance and stuff like that. She was pissed off with me for making a mess in my room, and she didn't like the music I was playing. There were loads of different things that she weren't happy about. She weren't happy about all the drugs I were taking. But she came through, so I think that's when I knew that I was obviously
on the right path.
Yeah.
Or you could feel it as well, couldn't you?
Yeah. I felt it in my body as if say this was going to work.
Yeah. So, and you said like you were doing self-healing on yourself. How does that go about then?
You just do it lay down.
Yeah.
So she would got to start at the head, but I would recommend doing it the other way.
Yeah.
Round. If I was to do it again, yeah. And I'd only ever be able to get to there and then fall asleep. So I remember messaging my master at the time saying I'm doing it wrong because I'm not getting all the way through. She was like, don't worry, if you're putting yourself to sleep and stuff, you're obviously doing it right. But it was interesting because them 2 chakras are what I needed the most work on, but I never got to them, so I was avoiding it because I knew it was going to be big stuff that was like coming out of it.
The ego knew.
Yeah.
Tries to get you off a beaten track, doesn't it?
Yeah, so when I started uncovering what were in there, that's when I think like the biggest breakthrough was coming through because I had to start to face a lot of my own stuff and forgive a lot through the process, and then I had to change my lifestyle as well, which was hard because all my friends were all partying. I didn't want to party anymore, but then I didn't have any other friends that were doing anything else, so I was still sort of doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling good about it.
You become conscious of it.
Yeah, I was like going out and getting wrecked and not even enjoying it and feeling even worse about it.
I had that when I was getting home, and so we were like, you had a good night? Because she didn't like me going out and taking coke or whatever. Yeah. But she'd be like, you had a good night? And I'm like, no, I didn't. I hadn't done for the last 6 times. I don't know why I'm doing it.
Because you had nothing else to do.
Yeah, because it was the scare, it was being attached to, at least it was the familiar, and I knew that, like, what I want to get. And it were not wanting to step into unknown. But the unknown's been where all of it's, like, it's beautiful. It's painful sometimes, but it's beautiful.
Well, it is. It's like
because you're getting closer to you, and you feel like you are worth something, and you have them healthy boundaries. As soon as you know your worth, you've got healthy boundaries, and you don't let anyone have access to you, which is brilliant.
And it's the authenticity as well of like getting back, because I chased things before, like, I'm going to chase abundance and joy and stability and all these things that I did need to get to anyway, but it's like actually getting back to my true self, because I'd people pleased to keep the peace for like, and it went back like all the way back to like childhood and stuff.
Wow.
So that's what I've been working through recently, and still working through. Saying no without over explaining and telling everyone my life story before, and just instead of just saying no, I can't do that.
Yeah, I think that's what I've started to do, is not give so much of an explanation. No one deserves a complete. It dilutes anything that you say afterwards.
Yeah, and then you feel guilty about it. So I had to go through that uncomfortableness where I just felt like I was being a bitch to everyone because I was like saying no. No, I can't do that.
I'm glad you said yes that you're going to come on.
No, I did want to do this though, so I'm not people pleasing today. But that's around your worth, and that's all in there and everything, and that comes from like, you know, it could come from past relationships or childhood and things like that as well. If you weren't celebrated or like allowed to feel, you know, yourself or whatever.
So I know you said it was a struggle with your friends, and I think most people going through a spiritual awakening has that. Have you still kept some of the same friend group, or
yes? Yeah, so some of them I've met back on this journey, weirdly enough.
That's cool.
So but some of them no. I mean, I've not fallen out with them.
No.
They just stopped inviting me to things because they knew, obviously, I didn't want to party or anything anymore. I did try and sort of go in and just have a couple of drinks and do whatever, but it just wasn't...
Don't fit, does it?
No,
It
and
feels
then
really...
I'm talking a different language to him as well. Like the things I'm going through and talking about, you can just see it just like goes.
Just like, yeah, and they try to change subjects. And
yeah, you can just see they feel uncomfortable because they're just like, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's like when I've said we've just been doing this cleanse this week, and he says, "Oh, one of my best mate, he says, oh, what you got up to this week?" And I says, "My life's changed, mate." I says, "Friday and Saturday night I've done an enema," and he went off. I like, but how do you explain? Like, it is going through the hard stuff that gets to the good stuff. I've felt absolutely brilliant since, but people don't want to go. It's much easier to pick up the food or whatever because it is the easy way out, isn't it?
It's like that social normality as well. So I had to go through a stage where I was just on my own. So because I didn't want to, but I was getting like FOMO because obviously everybody were going to different things. But I don't want to go. But then I just had to spend a lot of time at weekends just on my own.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of lonely, I think, you know. And I think you've got to embrace and be aware of that when you're going to start going on your journey and you want to get away from, you are going to be on your own for a bit as well.
I think it's a beautiful time though. I don't actually mind being on my own, so I quite liked it. It's just when it got to the point of I had no one to share it with.
That's what I mean,
at all, like, and that's why the podcast came about, is with the idea to be able to talk to people and their journeys, and that's fulfilling for me, and it's fulfilling for someone else, and it can help them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that not everyone is. It's nice to hear that people do catch up, like you say, meeting people back on the circuit.
Yeah, so it was mad. I did my first chakra workshop, and it was when I was working in Wakefield, and my friend, she's called Gabby now, but she came on it. And she used to party back in the days when it was like the stinkies and it was absolute carnage and everything. And she was started on a sound healing journey. So we were just like, oh my God. We've gone from dance floors to like sound baths now. So yeah, some people have. I have got a few that have started. And then somebody else does acupuncture now who used to go out and party with and stuff as well. But then I'm still friends with, I've not fallen out with them. We just don't.
No, you just don't resonate. It just, like I said many times, it's like I just send them love. We just don't have all
force them to come. I did try a bit. I was like, why don't you come and try this out? And yeah, but then they were trying to get me to go to do things I didn't want to do. So it was just like,
this isn't working.
Yeah, we just have to just call it what it is.
Well, that's it as well. And everyone's gonna I think that, like, with the podcast now, is I'm putting it out into a channel. If someone wants to watch it or listen to it, they can do. I don't feel the need that I have to tell everyone what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
That's good when you start knowing your worth, because you're not worried about, like, I used to get like that about my work and things I were doing. I'm like, nobody wants to come and sit and have Reiki with me. No one wants to do this, but it's like the right people will gravitate. And when you let go of that thought, the resistance goes as well, because it doesn't matter, like, different people resonate with different things. So just because that person doesn't want to come and do your workshop or do whatever, it doesn't mean that that's a reflection on what you're offering.
Yeah.
It's just not singing to them. And that's kind of a powerful place to be at, just being like, well, the right people will come along.
I bet you met some brilliant people along the way as well.
Yeah.
You know, when you start uncovering bits, you're like, I don't even think you're never fully going to know how all these brilliant people that are going to come into your life and add up to that next level. Yeah,
it's like a soul tribe almost, isn't it? Like, some people I've met, like, in the last year or so, I feel like I've known forever.
Yeah.
As opposed to people that I've known forever as well. So it's just different when you resonate and you don't have to translate yourself to someone.
Yeah.
Because I think that's part of it as well, because it's kind of difficult when you're trying to, when someone says, oh, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And I can never just say, oh yeah, things are like, it's not as simple as that. There's always something, like, I don't know.
There's always something popping off.
Yeah, basically, with the amount of shadow work and stuff.
Yeah, it's the deeper conversations as well, isn't it? They're the ones that mean something to someone, rather than just, oh, you're alright. Yeah.
It's just small talk, isn't it? And I actually can't do that anymore.
No, and now looking at relationships, that's with alcohol. It's becomes like if you take that out of a situation, you lose a lot of friends because that's all you had in common.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a tough pill to swallow.
And gossip as well, as
Yeah.
well in them circles, like party circles. That's what I noticed as well. Like that we were bonding through drugs and gossip, really, basically, and that's kind of not a good thing to be doing anyway.
Well, that's what cocaine was. On the
Well,
night,
it is,
and it just like arguing, just talk, and I'm like.
And then you're all getting sneaky about your bags, and you can have some of this, and you can have that. It's just all really weird, like dynamics.
I was saying this before. I could feel energy in kitchen parties or whatever at the end of the night. I thought it was just me being anxious, but I could feel everyone else being anxious, and it was like overpowering. And I wondered I just had to dart out of there.
Yeah, I used to get paranoid.
It used to get
paranoid.
and I never liked being out when sun were rising. It made me feel sick. Everyone like, still partying. I'm like, nah. I'm like, yeah.
Turn to ash like a vampire.
Felt like it, yeah.
Yeah. No. But yeah, it's just I used to get paranoid at parties because I'm like, they're talking about me or whatever. But I think I genuinely was just picking up on the energy because I've been sensitive my whole life, but then not knowing that.
Yeah.
Because I just dumbed it and numbed it with different things as well.
Well, we're not taught about it either, are we? That's the thing.
No.
I mean, just watching them, I think there's a new podcast come out called Telepathy Tapes, and they're teaching kids telepathy, especially non-verbal ones.
That's really good.
But they're like trying to teach kids it from school as well, like, I think what's coming out now, you're going to have these mystery schools back. Yeah. It's going to be like, I think someone said it over there. What would Jesus be if he were at Hogwarts and went just any given person? Which I thought were hilarious.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot more stuff that is out now for like, I wish, I wouldn't say I wish because everything happens the way it's supposed to, but I'm glad that the next generation get to notice, and experience these kind of things, because before you talk about any of this, you'd just get branded crazy or whatever.
Well, they did, didn't they? They numb you with stuff, and that's what they're still trying to do now. If you go in and you say, there's stuff happening to me, I don't feel myself, they're like, take some of that. You're not going to feel like anything at all.
Exactly, yeah, that's why I don't go to doctors or anything.
No.
Not if unless I have to.
No. You, what kind of holistic health then do you do? What kind of things do you eat or not eat? Because you said you didn't want to give up meat, or you give it up.
No, so
it might be a personal question. That
no,
I'm just intrigued. That's all.
No, so I do eat meat.
Yeah.
I tried not eating meat, but my body. It was when I was training to fight and stuff as well, and I was training 5 days a week, and I couldn't do it without. I mean, I know there's other options and stuff as well. I didn't actually go down that avenue. I try and eat less meat, I don't just gorge on it for no reason or unnecessarily, but I do.
I think so. I were at a point of like, everyone should be vegan and stuff, and I don't know, because I think everyone, it is, and I think everyone's different, and
everyone's body's different as well.
Yeah, no, it's not one size fits all.
Yeah, it definitely didn't make me feel good. Like, I felt fatigued. I even looked ill as well. Like, it was really sort of like taking its toll on me because I've ate meat my whole life. Yeah. As well, so now I would say I would reduce it. Like I don't eat like pork and stuff and things like that. There's certain things I won't.
Yeah, I do eat pork, and then someone said, hey, "What, are you Muslim?" I'm like, "It's not about being Muslim. It's about doing some research on eating pig." I'm like, "Yes, it's tasty. I'm not giving that up." Yeah. Like even my son now, when he smells bacon, he's like, "Oh."
I said, to be fair, I do actually. I said to eat bacon, but
I'd get you.
Yeah. Well, I meant like when you buy because I cook stuff in the slow cooker a lot, so like I make like stews and stuff. So majority of the time it's just like it's chicken or vegetables or vegetable curries and stuff and things like that. Yeah. I do try to, but I don't want to. I think it is a bit judgy saying everyone should be vegan and should be vegetarian. I totally understand why people are. Yeah. But I don't think telling everyone.
This is when I was speaking off air when I said I was taking mushrooms, and then day after I'd get what I should be doing, and like the ego rose up there, and it's like, no, all you lot should be doing that as well. And it's like, no, that message is for me, not for anyone else. And everyone's supposed to be doing their own thing, and it's their own challenges at a time.
It will. You get less and less for it as well, because I'll go through stages where I just don't want to eat at all either, so I'll just fast as well.
Are you into fasting as well?
Yeah, so I think I fasted for like 2 or 3 days last week. It was involuntary to start with. I just didn't even realise I was doing it, and then I thought I may as well carry on. So just having water and like herbal teas and stuff, so I did that. But then I do intermittent fasting as well.
Yeah, I do intermittent fasting every day. Each week I do 1 day fasting. And I think it's the feeling that you get of like taking it out of there, and that's the big one for me is food. It's like, so the more discipline that I've got, and I only just learnt today what disciples mean. Disciples means disciplined ones.
Makes sense.
And I'm like, I mean, it's not far away from word, is it? I'm like, well done, Craig.
I know, I would have, unless you said it, I wouldn't have thought.
But I think that's what. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were on about everyone's just over consuming.
That is, it's a level of what we're eating.
And that's what we've got a problem with. Like the people who are not awake are the ones who are consuming on TV or whatever it may be. It's overconsumption. So it's like they've got no cognitive function at all.
We do it out of boredom and stuff, don't you, as well? I do it when I'm ill as well. I've noticed I eat so much stuff that's not good for me when I'm ill, and it's like the worst time. I could possibly be doing that. It's like sort of like a thing of self-harm almost, because I'm eating all this stuff that's I know it's not going to make me feel any better, and then I get better, and then I'm like, actually I really want to make sure I'm eating really good now. It's like I've had to put myself through that to like make myself.
I'm doing a year without sugar. That's my plan.
I can't. Not sugar is.
I know how bad it is for me. It's bad for me. And people are like, no, it's all right, a chocolate bar. And I says, it ain't just a chocolate bar. It's like crack to me. Like, I'll be back for more. And it said, like, when you eat if you have 1 tablespoon of sugar, which is in most of the stuff, it says, like, it affects the brain for the next 48 hours. And I'm like, that's 2 days.
It's 2 days. Crash. You get a crash off it, don't you?
And it's just... Yeah, I think for me, I want my brain for it. If it's like going to root, you know, like you said with chakras.
It's self-soothing as well. I found out that was attached when I was trying to... Well, I've tried to quit smoking so many times now, but when I've done it, I always substitute the cigarette for sugar. And then I found out that that's actually what I was doing. It was soothing me in like, as a kid. It come through as a wound, like, you know, if he was crying or whatever, there was this like thing for the sugar, so it's like a comfort thing. So they both come together.
Wow.
But it's hard, the sugar. I find it really hard with the sugar. I try and not eat as much sugar.
And that's why I'm doing that cleanse at the moment. Cause like I will good lead up to it just after Christmas. I like it needs to go. Because it takes too much of my brain power. I'm already thinking about, I know that there's certain foods and you think about it most of the day.
The sugar's in everything.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's what I found when you're fasting or going to a detox for like a medicine ceremony or something like that, and you go shopping, that's when I found out that sugar was in everything. So I'll be fine. I'll just get fruit and do all this, and there's so much sugar in fruit as well. I know it's natural sugar. But sugar was in everything. There was absolutely everything. So I basically came out of the shop with hardly anything in my basket. I was like, well, I'm just not going to eat.
But last year I'd done like a big fast, and then I was just eating no sugar. And I drink herbal teas, but I were having honey, and now I don't have honey at all. I like the bitter taste, but it's getting to that point.
See, I don't have any in that in tea and stuff. I'm not bothered about that. No, it's chocolate and mostly chocolate for me. Yeah, it is chocolate. And I'm the same. I'll just eat the whole thing. You get a big bar. It's just gone. Like the Ferrero Rochers things as well, how bad they are.
Yeah.
I've had trays of them. I've bought them for people for Christmas, and I've ate the whole thing, and then had to buy another one, and then ate the other thing as well.
Well, I could see myself when I'm eating it. And then like Zoe will go out of the room and I'll go back to it again. I'm like, she's not going to tell me off. It's like she's just being sneaky. But I caught myself and I'm like, what part of me is doing that?
Yeah.
So I need to unpack that.
Yeah, it'll be something self-soothing, something from when you were a kid or whatever. Because I think if I was ever in trouble or whatever, I was crying or something, I'd get given sweets.
Yeah.
And then it was also like a nice treat as well when my mum would go and we'd get a video. This is how old I'm talking now. Rent a video and she'd call it Beano night and we'd buy all these sweets and everything. And we'd just literally pig out. So it was like a treat. So it was like, it's got like two ends to it. It's also like a bad and there's a positive and a negative to it.
Mad that you said that because that's where I think mine comes from.
It?
Yeah, we used to go over to my aunt and, well, I basically lived there when we were younger. Went to my auntie and uncles and they just had a big wall of different videotapes and you just watch them, but you would always go to the shop and I get 2 chocolate bars and it would just sat there and and I thought, yeah, it could be where that came from.
Yeah, it does. It was such a thing, like a treat as well. So that was like a nice, comforting like thing that we did as a kid. But then it was also like bad as well.
Yeah. Well, it's been. Well, I noticed like when I got driving, it was the same with like KFCs or McDonald's or whatever it could be. It was like I've got a driver's license. I could just go get one when I want. I don't have to wait for anyone to treat me. I can treat me. But it's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. McDonald's are... I mean, I think I've probably had a KFC in probably the last couple of years, but it's just been... I think my son loves fast food and stuff, so... It's like making that compromise. But it's them social things. It's like, I feel like I wouldn't compromise if you're in certain... But that's my own willpower.
Yeah,
I need to be able to be like, oh no, I'll go with you, but I won't buy anything.
Yeah. Well, then, it shows up something else. It comes to be the embodiment of what you want to see in the world, and that's the one I'm trying to nail down this year. Because if you can control what goes in and out of your body, you can control everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's having that self-control, cause but it's like hard as well. But then you've got to be kind to yourself while you're doing it as well, because you go through different things. Like I'm on, I don't know what, attempt 1,700 and whatever of trying to quit cigs and sugar, and I'm still going through it. I don't want to continue to smoke, and it's like I know I'll get sick of it again, and then I'll do it again, and then it'll last maybe a month or 2 months, but then there's always something that ends up bringing it back around again.
Yeah, I quit smoking about 4 years ago, but I like the odd cigar. But then, like on holidays, so we came back and then I still had some, and then I started smoking it, and I can't breathe anymore off it. So it's like it's got to go.
Yeah.
It's not even a choice now. So that were like a blessing, because when people also say they pray or meditate on something that for the want, and some people may be overweight and they're like, I don't want to be fat and I want to help not eating anymore, and then they get diabetes and then they're going, what the fuck is this? I'm like, you asked for it, they just came in a different form.
That's it. You can't control how it comes,
no.
Can you?
No, definitely not.
And you send it out as well, so you don't what you actually say yourself, but then your subconscious as well. So that's one thing you do in the shadow and stuff. Yeah. That's where you're actually feeding or attracting different things, because it's in a subconscious level.
Yeah.
Beneath it all. So what you're sending out is like a message to the universe or the source, whatever you want to call it, but then you get like this mixed frequency because you've got these other things that are playing off in your lower consciousness as well.
Crazy, isn't it? What's so it's now the clearing house, the clearing community. I want to get that right. I was asking you before this. All right.
It's all right. Everyone's like, "What do you call it?" Because it's called the community on Facebook, but it's It's called the clearing.
Yeah.
So the clearing's what holds the community.
I like that. Yeah. So what's the objective with it? What's your big visions for it? Or why do I say big visions? What's your visions for it?
Well, I suppose it is big, the vision for it as well, because obviously we're in the process of completing and becoming a CIC, which is then we can obviously tap into funding and be able to offer sort of free workshops and things like that for people that cool. Can't afford to do stuff, so it's been able to be accessible for both things as well, like obviously for ticketed and people to come, want people to thrive and be able to make money, and people who can't afford to do stuff or still want to be able to do that, but then also be able to pay the facilitators for the time and their energy as well, because at the minute it's a completely community driven project, and it's just our heart. It's all like we're here trying to create just community, really, because you think of all these people that, you know, don't have anywhere to go, or maybe don't have any friends, especially if you're going through an awakening and you don't resonate with your old friends anymore. Like, this is a space where you can come and be accepted wherever you are. Like, I don't want, like, the false, not even false positivity, but how say like on Instagram and stuff, you've got everyone, then you only put your good bits on, don't you? Feeling really good today, blah, blah, blah. Nobody sort of, you know, in the midst of your conflict or you're feeling really down and stuff, I want people to be able to come and show up like that as well.
Yeah.
And not be judged or like, because like, or bringing down the vibe or anything like that. I want it to be a place where you can come and be exactly as you are, and you'll be accepted and held for exactly that.
I love that, because when you're also going through the spiritual awakening, you're having experiences that you can't even share to close family members, and if you haven't got anyone, it's a lovely place to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because obviously some people and they know exactly where you're coming from. And
Yeah.
some, if not, you're maybe teaching them, they're teaching you about a new experience, and then it shines upon you as well.
But that's it, we're all learning from each other, so we're all here to sort of teach. Everyone's got different abilities or different gifts and stuff that they're bringing, and just in general of us all coming together, because we're meant to be uniting and collaborating now.
Yeah.
Because it's not golden age, it's all about the humanitarian, and we're all meant to be sort of clubbing together. It doesn't matter if we're all doing the same thing, there's enough for everyone. It's
abundant, isn't it?
To go around, like, that scarce mentality is like, that's the resistance to it all. It's like, if we all work together and we all help each other, it's not going to take away anything.
No.
But I think a lot of people, when they get, you know, they go to places and they think because they're not feeling great and they're feeling low and they're going through dark night of the soul and all that other stuff, because it's not talked about enough, they stay away and they stay on their own, and it's terrifying, it's lonely, and you go through several, you don't just go through one. So it's about like being able to have both of that and have the clear communication between everyone as well.
Yeah.
So however awkward or whatever, it's like a family, you can sit and we can work it all out together.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's always going to get on.
No.
But it's a point of being able to actually have that conversation and see it from each other's point of view, and then you don't have to.
That's the beautiful thing. I try to look at everyone's point of view, and I think that's what modern society done. They look at their way and their angle, and they've got the blinkers on, and that's why people struggle, and they don't. But once you start looking at it from different angles, you can see where they're coming from, and you can start to have like we spoke off air, is the number one thing why no one gets along on a lot of stuff is because it's no communication, and it is the simplest thing.
Yeah.
You see it in relationships, like lovers or family members or whatever, and everyone will come and ask you for various bits of advice, and they're open enough to talk to you, but not open enough to talk to the person. I'm like, you just told me, why don't you just tell them?
And it's so much easier, because that's what actually makes it worse as well. So like, that's what one of the ethoses is, obviously, is clear communication between everyone. So we could be going through doing whatever, and somebody could be going through something, and that might trigger somebody over there.
Yeah.
But I want that person to be able to say, oh, sorry, I want the space to feel that safe, that you could turn around and say, that triggered me when you said that, and know that you can have that conversation. You're not going to get any backlash from it. You're not going to get exiled or made feel like, I don't know, that you're doing something wrong, because that is the journey of, you know, healing or whatever. You're constantly going up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
And it's all right being there for the ups, but when we're down here, like, that's when it's really important. So it's a space for all of it, and for everything.
It needs these communities coming back. I think that's what like the establishment don't really like. You can see a lot of funding being cut on leisure centres. I was listening to the podcast today, and they said I think everyone in England now they're all bankrupt at the moment. Yeah,
there's funding being cut everywhere. It's obsolete. Some of the funding that I was even applying for before isn't even there anymore.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's just being cut all over the place.
And it needs people getting out and connecting, because for me personally, the Zoom calls don't cut it. it's
got to
not
be in
the same
person.
as in person. You don't know how someone's taught it, how it actually feels. You don't know how to connect. Well, I don't, and I find
I think some
it really
people
eerie.
can and some people can't.
Oh, some people are brilliant at it,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it is where it's needed, it's needed. But I think it is better being on the ground and then...
Yeah. And just somebody sometimes just needs a hug and stuff as well. So that's why I've started to do other events, not just like the spiritual stuff and like, you know, not everybody wants to talk about some of the stuff that, you know, like, I don't want to say advanced because that sounds like, again, but like doing stuff like the open mic and like just gathering together and just having like chats and stuff, not having it to be about this big like journey that we're going into the cosmos and stuff. There's people that are on different like parts of it all and they're just craving connection and community. They want to go somewhere where they can just chat to someone. They might have been on their own for the last 3 or 4 weeks or something and not had anybody to chat to. So it's to be able to...
And then they start to connect on a different level.
And then they make friends. They can make friends through that as well.
Yeah.
So, trying to keep it all relevant and afloat.
But no, it's all fun, isn't it? What's your funniest moment on the journey? Like something that you believed in at one point and then you've gone the opposite way.
Opposite way on something. Oh God, I don't know. There were so many things like that got shattered, illusions that got shattered, I suppose, along the way. I think like the whole guru mentality for me as well. I do watch a lot of stuff and bits and everything else, but like that thing of like looking outside yourself for everything, you know, like that was like a bit of a earth-shattering moment for me actually, because I just thought, wow, you've got everything in here. Not saying I know everything, but having this thing where you're like worshipping something else, I don't think is healthy or reminding us of like the power and the knowledge and stuff that we have ourselves. I think that will like...
You're giving it away, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
And it says don't ever worship false idols. I've noticed more when you just sit and meditate on it, the answers come. They do. It's just finding the time. But when we started rushing about,
you've got to pause, you've got to stop. So that's what I had to learn as well. I was just like constantly like just always had this momentum of like going and going, but it was like a trauma response, I suppose, just keeping busy all the time. To when you actually sit and still, that's when things come to you, like, you know, things that you have to work through, or like you said, different downloads or ideas or aha moments. I've had many of those.
What's your take on it then? Is like what this construct is that we live in, or how do you see it?
I feel like there's 2 different realities playing out at once at the moment, and it's whether you're choosing to sit into the fear of it all. So there's that, like the fear of believing everything, all the propaganda and everything that's going on. And then there's the other level of the fear as well. So that's the people that are really deep into the conspiracy theories. Not saying this stuff isn't right, but being consumed by that, still in that fear side of it all. But then you've got like the love side of it all. That can be too much as well, I think. It's about being aware of everything that's going on, but knowing that like the things that we do will ripple out. It's about not ignoring anything. But then there's too far again, where people are just totally bypassing as well. So I feel like there's them 2 realities that are going on at the moment. And it's whether you choose to give that power.
That concept as well, because they're saying that we're moving. It's like there's a 3D and 5D, and it's all right. You can keep on switching to both sides now, but there's gonna come a point where it splits, and your consciousness will be in one or other. Which I found quite. I don't know if you've had it before. You probably have, and it only happened a couple of months over for me on the reality revolution. I listened to these guided meditations, and I've never felt like it were a complete shift. I know I've felt it in meditations where you get blissfulness, because I think when they're saying it shifts, like when you walk in that room, you do your meditating, and if you feel that big shift when you walk out, you're walking into another reality. It's like for everyone, who you'll meet that day, you're meeting a better version of them.
Yeah.
It's mad, innit?
Yeah, it's
And
like timeline jumping as well. So we've been glitching loads, and like the timeline, you can tell that we're going through some really, really big ascensions. And it's like the 5D isn't like a destination, is it? It's a mindset.
Yeah.
But I think that we need to staying grounded in it as well. It's really important because you can get way too far into it to the point where you sort of lose grasp on reality as well. So it's about trying to find some like balance in between it all.
Yeah.
Like not getting too caught away with being in your own little world as well.
Yeah. That's the point now, is I wanted like just to be able to. I think I went through like a harsh awakening, and you couldn't get people. I couldn't relate to people, but now I'm finding a way to relate to family members and show them like a thought process, how I think of things, and like break it down, and they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. They don't totally get everything, but
that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool. But it's knowing how to merge it and trying to use, what's the word? It's gone. You know what I mean? Like try and make it relatable so they can grasp the whole thought process.
It's make it staying in that sort of like that 3D sort of thing as well. So as well of not trying to get people to think how you think. Like that was a massive thing for me as well, because I was like, why can't you see what's going on? Wake up, everyone! And it was like, I can't wake them up. Like. And it was just pushing it further and further away, that I'm getting more frustrated. It's not my mission to like wake everybody up and tell people what they need to do, but you're there when they are.
Yeah.
And I can still sort of like float about in the 3D and stuff and everything else, but it's I don't like doing 3D stuff. I don't think anybody does, to be honest.
I tried watching football yesterday and I couldn't watch it.
I don't like football anyway.
I used to love it, and I just like I can't. I thought I'll just try and watch half an hour, and I won't even watch it. I'm not bothered for it.
I watched UFC actually on Saturday. That's the first time I've watched that in a while.
I don't mind UFC.
Yeah.
It's fun and it is entertaining. But so where do you see it going with the community?
So I feel like this is sort of like the seed of it as well, because I had a vision years ago of like having this big like house of healers, and it was like I've seen this vision's come through so many times, and it gets crisper and crisper every time.
Yeah, cool.
So it's a big building. There's like maybe like 2 or 3 stories to it.
Yeah.
I'm living in it in the top bit, and then the bottom's obviously like different rooms, people doing different things, like different ceremony rooms, therapy rooms, and then outside there's water, trees, where we can grow stuff and cultivate and things like that. So the idea is to get to that.
Yeah.
I feel like this is what it is. It's like building, and this is the point, building and getting towards it. And then obviously once we get to where we are, and then get funding or be able to, I don't need to know the way.
Is the plan to stay in UK then?
Yeah, I think at the point is I really don't think running away from the places that need the work is where we need to be. It needs to be in these places that are sort of like dense and need like that vibration, or just being able to hold people through it all. I feel like there's enough people running off to the hills and stuff and doing stuff, isn't there? So I'm not saying that would potentially be cool if we could have something like that as well. Yeah. But I feel like it's meant to be where it is right now. Yeah. To work with the people that need it.
Yeah, I was like that at one point. I just wanted to be aware, and I'm like, it's not. There's things I want to do, and I do want to live in a different country 6 months a year. I want to be somewhere where fruit's nice all year.
Yeah.
Not just the weather and the rest of it.
I do still want to travel. I feel like with the co-connection, because I want to connect communities as well, so I want to connect to other communities. So we're already doing something with another community up in Whitby in May, so that's like a Colour Waves festival.
Oh, cool.
And it'd be cool to branch out. Like I know some people are in Portugal, we could do something in there as well. So it's like being able to sort of join the dots all over the place. So it wouldn't be like that'd be like the base of where we are. Yeah. But it'd be really cool to
move around,
travel around, and then if we've got a big enough team, you can have different venues and different things.
And it's picking up the knowledge. I think that's why I have always wanted to travel more. and see things, but now I want to do it for the reasons of go and experience other cultures, see how they live, and pick the bits that I want to bring back and share.
Yeah.
And then you get to...
You embody it.
That becomes your gift, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you're experiencing it firsthand, like, rather than reading it or, like, you know, going off what somebody else says. You've actually gone out and experienced it. And there's so much in the world that I want to see. Like, I want to go to that place where there's the algae, and I think it's in, I don't know if it's in California or something, where the sea, like, it's all luminous. I can't remember what beach it's called, but that's one of my things on my bucket list. I really want to go to there. Like, there's loads of places I want to visit, whether that be for work or for travel, but I would like to have that flexibility as well, to be able to jet off to different places.
Do you ever, do you have any like rituals or when just because it's a full moon tonight? Is it tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight. Yeah, no, it's not weird.
Yeah, is the alt that you ever do leading up to full moons?
Yes, soul letters are really good to do on the full moon. Full moons are good for letting go of stuff. So you can write, you can do it in manifestations, or soul letters are really powerful to do, and they just burn them. And charge crystals and stuff like
I knew the charging crystals.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, soul letters are really good, so you can write them to say if you've got something or someone you want to forgive, even if they're on the other side, or if you're not talking to them anymore or anything like that, or relationship, anything, you write it down, everything that you'll never say or didn't get a chance to say, and that's done then, you know, because then you're not carrying that energy in. Yeah. And then you burn it, and that sort of transmutes it. It's a really powerful thing to do on full moon.
Let me...
You can write that down.
No, I'm just going to write that down. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm looking for that question. It's my head is not with it today. You know, like plucking stuff up. I've never had to do this.
It's been free flow.
Yeah, normally it's just there. It's like... It's an odd one. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude here.
No, it's alright.
I'm trying to look at what I asked you, that's what it is. I have thought. So, yeah. So, is there any books or is there anyone that you looked up to who's really felt like it's made a shift in your life that maybe you've like embodied?
I guess I don't really like read books and stuff, but there is people, like influential people that I have resonate with, like Teal Swan, some of the stuff she's done around relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
I found I really resonate with some of her stuff.
Is that she's American, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she sort of goes into stuff about like relationships and like I don't know if she's a relationship counsellor or she just does everything.
Yeah.
In general, but yeah, she's probably up there, and I can't remember his name, but he's got like. Called Bashan or something.
Oh yeah, Bashar.
I like some of his stuff, but I don't like how he shouts at people sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think I'm totally with you what you're saying, but you sound like you like having a go at everyone at the same time.
What's your stance on all that? Because I remember when I first seen like characters like Bashar and I seen Dolores Cannon, and I was like, what the fuck's what life am I towing into here? But the more that I've listened to both speak, it's definitely Bashar as well. Well, even Dolores Cannon, what she was saying, like how she explains the soul and what it is and it chooses and all that. I definitely resonate with all that.
Yeah, I think I resonate with a bit of everything as well. I think like with everything, like I don't have a actual religion, so I take bits from everything. So I do feel like we do sign up before we get here for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think you've got your soul family and stuff, and you can call them in. I had it with when we did this talk. I was doing a talk, and I'm like, not bothered how many turn up, just want who knitted soul family come up, one person turned up. Who my friends said. But someone who looks out for me more than most. And I just find it funny because she's like, there's only just me, and I went, it was supposed to be like that.
Well, that's it. I think that everything is how it's meant to be, with certain things and like timing with things definitely as well. I feel there's people that I thought, wow, I thought you were going to be here forever, and they're not. And now I'm like, I can actually see why now. You know, it makes so much more sense.
Just here to teach you, aren't they?
Yeah, they're there for different seasons and different, when you're going through different things as well, especially relationships, I've noticed. You can sort of see what I was healing through each one as well. Like, you know, when you sort of look back at it, but then you wouldn't be able to see that if you didn't stop.
Yeah, well, it's the experience of it all, isn't it? Oh, it's funny that you say that with seasons. What season do you feel like you're in at the moment, or you just the one that you've just come out of?
So I still feel like I'm in hibernation,
Yeah.
if I'm honest. Hibernation, and I'm still in like introspection, so I'm going through a lot of stuff about relationships and myself. So I've been like in a committed relationship with myself for like the last 10 months out of choice.
Yeah.
Because I want to like really sort of devote myself to myself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but in that time, there's been loads of stuff. It felt like the chords and all these other things are coming up. So, like, I'm definitely going through my worth, like seeing my worth in a. You
could tell you seem a lot more confident.
I feel
today
more
than you are. Like normally you're a little bit shy.
Yeah.
And you walked in, you're like, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I've definitely been going through that of like knowing like myself, of like not like realising how much I was scared to be seen. You know, like I was like hiding behind everyone else as well. So I was like promoting everybody else and not promoting myself. But it was I was sort of doing it subconsciously, because then that would mean I would have to talk and big up myself, and I'd have felt really uncomfortable about that.
Yeah.
So by working on myself and being in this relationship with me, has really opened that up to see all the other times where, you know, all the things I know what I deserve now, and I know that what I bring, rather than sort of relying on like validation from like other people and stuff as well. So it's still an ongoing thing.
Yeah. No,
but I think I'm gonna like celebrate my year anniversary.
But it's beautiful in what you're doing there, because once you know your self-worth, you'll meet someone who is on that level of they'll be the same, and then you get to go through all that process.
Because I think that's what happens. I get okay, and then I attract someone because I start like shining a bit brighter, or I'm picking off like a different way, but then I've not finished the process of what I'm going through. So it's like I'm going through that like uncomfortable, sort of like that gooey stage of it all, but now it's like finding, like basically like holding my own hand through it all, which is what I've needed to do, you know, because I've been my own protector, I've been my own thing, so I've never been comfortable or felt safe to be in my feminine energy.
Yeah.
So I had never attracted a masculine partner, so to speak, so it's like I'm never going to get to that. If that's what I want a divine counterpart. I want someone that's gonna, you know, elevate and work with me and work. I don't want somebody like, I don't need somebody to, I know what I want and I know what I need, but I need to be that for me first.
You need to energetically match that frequency.
I need to be it. I need to embody this like feminine, vulnerable, weird thing that I'm doing at the moment, which is terrifying, but it's also like, because I've been strong forever, it's been like my default setting of like being strong and just like carrying on with everything. Being vulnerable's very alien to me, so that's the uncomfortable part of it all, but finding that there's so much strength in that as well. That's good to unpack, isn't it? But no. Is there anything else that you would like to go over? You'd like to share? No, but just to come down to the clearing and come and see us. There's loads of events on.
Are you still doing the monthly
fundraiser? That's on the 1st of February, so if you want to pop down.
It might have got... debuting after I did this bit. It might have been gone. It might be gone. Is it on first of every month?
It's the first
First
Saturday
week.
of every month, yeah.
Yeah. So it's on the first Saturday of each month.
Yeah.
And you can come down, have Reiki or whatever.
There's all sorts of stuff on,
card. Meet some new people.
Yeah.
That's what it's about as well, isn't it? And get introducing.
Yeah. There's different people every month as well, so it's really good that different people are coming to the space, and there's different treatments as well. So there's always Reiki and card readings, but then we might have the clearing technique might be there with Louise. If you haven't tried that, you should definitely try that. That's really good.
What's
for
that?
She's a Heyoka empath, which sort of means like a sacred clown. If you look it up in, so she does a different. She's got this method that she does. So if you've got a bad sort of emotion or a negative feeling, or you've got something going on there, but you don't have to talk about it. It's a non-verbal content thing that you can do, and she'll get you to bring it up. Feel it, and then you breathe through it, and she does some sort of eye movements and some brain confusion, and it sort of transmutes it. It's absolutely
sounds interesting,
amazing. That. Honestly, it's really good. The first time I did it, afterwards I was like, the next day, like looking for it, because I think I was trying to clear guilt and shame or something. So I was like, okay, like it was really there, and then the next day I was like trying to look for it, if you're like searching for a filing cabinet and it just wasn't there. Like it's not like you deleted the thing that's there, but you've just transmuted it. I don't feel the way I feel about it anymore.
Yeah, it don't feel like it's been boggy and holding you down.
It just that's
cool. That.
But she does that at the fundraisers as well sometimes. But she also does like one-on-ones as well.
I'll definitely have to come down.
That'll be good.
So thank you for coming on and sharing your journey.
Thank you. Thanks.